Hello and welcome to Magic in Media, the podcast brought to you by the Vibe Collective and me, Carly D, a reader here at the Vibe Collective. This podcast blends magic with the current pop culture news and moments to show you that magic is all around us every day. We just have to look around and find it. So we find the metaphysical and the magic in the world all around us and we share it with you. Welcome to Magic in Media. I am going to be so honest. I've been doing readings today and I've been talking all day. So my voice is a little scratchy. I'm going to be drinking water and taking some water breaks, but Mercury has gone direct and so are we. So I have just been doing readings, talking about the future, the big bright future we have after this crazy Mercury retrograde in July of 26 that we will all remember. But that actually brings us to our first topic, which is we're going to talk about the Mercury retrograde just for a second, because we are going to acknowledge that today, July 23rd, Mercury went direct, which means the Mercury retrograde has ended. Yes, this is something that has been affecting all of us. July has been transformative in ways that we may not even see happening yet, but are very much there. So if it has been a rough month for you with July and this summer, just know that things should be getting a little smoother, a little easier now that the Mercury retrograde is over. And just to kind of touch on what this retrograde brought us, lots of crazy stuff. We had big storms, we had power outages, we had the wildfires from Canada bringing smoke down into Michigan, New York, and the East Coast. We had a huge parasite going around in our lettuce, Glycospora. This has all been during the retrograde. And with retrogrades, I always say this, but it's like walking through mud. It's harder, it's dirtier, it's going to take you longer, but we're going to get to the end of it. And we did. But I think we all had some stuff happen in July, or maybe some stuff was brought up that we've been ignoring or putting on the back burner that could not be ignored anymore. So just know that with Mercury going direct today, we are now entering the shadow period, which is when we can start to apply and use what we've learned during this Mercury retrograde. So think about what's been going on, what you learned, what happened, and how you're going to apply it now moving forward, especially these next 2 weeks. There's a lot of energy going around. It's now starting to level out a little bit. So just make sure that we're being proactive. And like I said, we are learning from what the Mercury retrograde brought up for us. And we are taking those lessons and making ourselves and the areas around us better. So Mercury has gone direct. Mercury is not retrograde anymore. Hooray. This has been a big energy. Like I said, we've all really been feeling throughout really all of July. So that is our first topic. I do also want to touch on our World Cup tarot predictions that we did last week. I was pretty close on some of them. I did think that Argentina was going to win that day and move forward to the end, and they did. So that was very much expected. I did think Argentina would win it all, and they didn't. Spain did. But in our reading, Spain did have the 10 of Pentacles, which is a very positive card. A lot of, honestly, winning energy. It's a full table. It's money. It's friendship. It's wealth that means something. And I think that that is definitely depicted in Spain's win with the World Cup. They definitely had that 10 of Pentacles energy. So that was pretty cool. But overall, I did think that Argentina was going to take it all, and they didn't. So very awesome World Cup. I think it was engaging. It brought a lot of people in. We'd covered it, just how cultures and different luck and what you can do to bring your team good juju. We covered that in a podcast earlier this summer too. But that is just our little recap, our little, touch in with what we talked about last week prediction wise. So some predictions came true, but not all of them. Looking back as a reader, honestly, with that Ten of Pentacles for Spain, it was always looking pretty positive for them. But personally, I wanted Messi to win. So I think that influenced my prediction a little bit, which is definitely true for tarot readers. Our influence can get in there a little bit sometimes too. But it is cool to go back and look at the cards and see how the winner totally makes sense. So let's hop into our next topic, which is another really exciting astrological thing that happened this week. We are in Leo season, and Leo season is this really the word that I chose to explain Leo season for us is iconic energy. And being iconic, the definition of iconic means something or someone that is widely recognized, admired, and acts as a quintessential symbol of a specific area, idea, or style. It implies a lasting cultural impact, an entity that defines a trend rather than just following one, cementing an unforgettable legacy. So, when we think of Leo season, we think of iconic. We are going to go through some iconic actors that I really feel fit this description and is a good way for you to see how Leos really show up. Leo is known for being the sign that is on display, on stage. They want to be seen. They're the performers. They're very loud. But what I noticed in researching our famous, Leo celebrities for this segment of the podcast this week is that a lot of them do carry this iconic energy. And we do use the word iconic a lot in culture right now, I would say, even just as like a buzzy word. But really, when you read what iconic really means, that like the quintessential image or just that impact that we remember it, it's a legacy, it's a name that sticks around or an image that sticks around. There's a different energy when it comes to Leos that just makes them a little more iconic. Another thing I do want to just touch on before we jump into our famous Leos is hair for Leos. So Leos are known for their mane or their hair. So you may notice lots of Leos have different hairstyles that, call attention, maybe different colors, different dye, or even just big hair, right? Lots of hair, big hair, hair that grows very healthy is actually very common amongst Leos. So just pay attention to the Leos you see, popping up this season, this month, and it's their birthday. What does their hair look like? Leos are known for their hair. So that's another thing I want to kind of draw attention to or point out as we go into Leo season. Another kind of astrological joke for Leo season is, it's Leo season when you go out to eat in August and everyone is being sung to at their table. It's because Leos want to be out. They want attention. They want people to sing to them. They want people to acknowledge them. Leos are just the performers. They really are. And they want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be celebrated. So we do see a lot of that in Leo season as well. But let's go through a few iconic Leos, if you will, and where we see them show up, how we can kind of see that they are just that step further of being that, what did it say? The quintessential symbol of a specific area, idea, or style. So keep that in mind as we go through these famous Leos. First up, Daniel Radcliffe, also known as Harry Potter. Pretty iconic. I would say if you think of actors, Daniel Radcliffe is an actor that we all know through his iconic role of Harry Potter. So him being a Leo is pretty fitting. One of his first and biggest roles was an iconic character, and that is something that is going to stick with him through his whole life, really. No matter how many movies he does, we will always think of Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, making him very iconic for that era, for really the Harry Potter franchise and all that it is. But it's very memorable. It's something that really sticks with us. It is a way that a Leo is being iconic for us all to see. Because like I said, you can't see Daniel Radcliffe and not think Harry Potter. That is where it all kind of ties in, especially with Harry Potter being such a big thing in a lot of people's lives and a lot of millennials. the story of Harry Potter being just really big in our culture and our society, he is like linked to that and inextricably. So it's very interesting to see, oh yeah, he's a Leo. Of course he would have an iconic role that kind of always is going to follow him around. Another iconic Leo, the one and only Martha Stewart. Um, we literally use her name to describe people who are really good at decorating their homes and hosting and cooking. So that makes her iconic, right? We see Martha Stewart as like the ultimate homemaker, the ultimate kind of cook, chef, preparing everything so it's just so. That we even say like, oh, she's just a regular old Martha Stewart. Like if your name is like a catchphrase, you're an iconic Leo, most likely. But Martha definitely falls into that. She's iconic in homemaking and TV, really, and just crafting all of those kinds of things that she does. She is iconic in. So Martha Stewart, no surprise that she would be a Leo as well. Again, think she wanted to be on display. Not only was she good at what she was doing when it came to, hosting and all of the home making things she does, she had to even go a step further to have her show, to be on display, to show other people how to do it. She's had some other stuff happen in her life too that drew attention to her, put her on a big stage. She was made an example of, with her legal troubles. But that also is very Leo energy, to be put on display, to be used as an example. Another iconic Leo, we have Barack Obama. He is a one-of-a-kind president. We've never had a president like him. He is our only president who has been a person of color. This is very impactful. He really is such an iconic person for the era that he was the president in as well. An era that was very hopeful, something we all remember, we all can think back to. But I think of all presidents, he's one of the most iconic. We will all remember him as that one of a kind president, and he is a Leo as well. And again, Leo on display, being the president, you're going to be talking to people very much to the public, very fitting Leo energy. Another Leo actor we have is Steve Carell. Why I chose him as iconic, think of his role on The Office as Michael Scott. That role really did make the show. The show is even in a way iconic. It's very well known. So someone like him, Steve Carell, could carry a show like that, could be the anchor for it, could be the iconic character to make the show what it was. And I think he is, again, just a very standout kind of person. His big role, Michael Scott, sticks with him. Facial recognition and stuff people have from him with The Office is just, again, very Leo, very on display, very needing to be seen. So again, very fitting, very fitting. Every time you read about a Leo or you figure out someone is, it often makes sense. So we have a musician on our iconic Leo list as well, and that is Madonna. The name alone is iconic. We dress up as her for Halloween. That's another way you can really think of people as iconic. If they can be a Halloween costume, then they are known, they are seen, they are known for what they're known for, like we've talked about with being iconic. So when you think of Madonna, she definitely fits into that mold, especially in the 90s, but she has held on to her iconic status. Like I said, even her name is just like, again, used in catchphrases a lot of the time. And just, again, tapping into that energy of, if this is a character that people want to embody for a holiday like Halloween or a costume party, that in itself just shows the Leo energy is transcending where even their characters or the caricature of themselves that they've created as an artist is being used as a costume to be on display. It's very interesting. And that's what I thought of when I saw Madonna, is that we still dress up like her. She has a quintessential style that is very known. The big hair, like the look of the 80s and 90s. So she definitely fits into that iconic Leo energy. And it's just the way they carry themselves. They don't mind to be seen. They actually want fame a lot of the time. A lot of reality stars are Leos. You'll see a lot of that in their charts. We've talked about Summer House on here before, which is a Bravo show. There's a couple on there, Amanda and Kyle. They're both Leos and they're both on reality TV. They've been kind of anchors in the show for a long time. It is not surprising that they share that Leoness to want to be seen. And you can just see that across, like I said, a lot of other well known figures who are in entertainment. And this podcast being magic and media, we just see a lot of Leos there because they want to be seen. Not every sign wants to be seen, wants to be on display, but Leos do. If you're not a Leo sun either, you're a Leo rising, that is something to pay attention to because our rising is our mask. It's how we present to the world. So if you're a Leo rising, then you also want to be on display. You want to present, you want to share, you want to be seen in some way. So pay attention to where Leo is in your chart. That's more of an astrology in-depth thing, but it's interesting to see where it shows up for people in different ways. Lots of talking today. I'm a Leo rising on the topic of Leos, which is why I probably talk a lot and have a podcast. That's just although the Gemini in me. So just remember, wherever you have different signs other than just your sun sign that you can see show up in your personality and just how you act. Now, our last topic is very much in the media right now. It's probably the most popular movie that is currently out, and that is the Odyssey. What's interesting about this is that while it is a very popular current movie that's out, this is a 3,000-year-old poem. This is a very old story. The story of the Odyssey, the journey of life. I'm not going to get into the full story because I think a lot of us know the story, but there's many places that you can look it up. The very, very abridged journey is the Odysseus is our main character. He goes on a long journey away from home, 20 years, and he spends 20 years trying to get back home. This story brings up the themes of forgiveness, home, travel, being present, our personal journey. Is it the destination? Is it the journey? This is a very old poem. Like I said, this is a 3,000-year-old Greek poem, but this message still rings true for so many of us. And that's why I wanted to bring it up this week on Magic and Media. No matter how old a story gets, when it is a good story, when it has a good message, it stands the test of time, and we continue to tell it in different ways. So the Odyssey is this story, this reminder to be present. That's what I want you to think about if you go see the Odyssey. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard it's really, really good. I want to try to see it in IMAX, but I've heard it's just very well shot. Christopher Nolan did the movie. It stars Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya is in it. It looks really good. I'm totally going to go see it. But when you go and see it, I want you to also think about this, the in-between. Our whole story of the Odyssey is the journey of life, the in-between of him leaving home and trying to get back. But let it be this reminder that what is going on in that in-between is our life. It is our journey. And this really does also reference tarot and how tarot is the fool's journey. So if you're familiar with tarot, the first card number 0 of the deck is the Fool. And the idea of tarot is that the Fool takes his leap of faith, starts his journey. If you follow tarot cards through their order, he goes through trials, tribulations, joy, heartache, all just in the majors of the tarot. But the minors are the little things in life, right? Cooking dinner, going to work, crying over a breakup, hanging out with friends, building a community, all the other parts of life. So when I think of the Odyssey ultimately being about the journey, right? It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about the life that we're living. It does totally bring me back to the Fool's journey, which is, the age-old storytelling of the hero's journey, which is really where it comes from, the Odyssey, like from this story. But the Fool's journey is that lesson that we are constantly learning, constantly experiencing, growing, getting through challenges, experiencing joys. The Fool's journey is the human experience. And the human experience has good, it has bad, it has highs, it has lows, just like Odysseus's journey. So keep that in mind when you are watching the Odyssey. What is your journey? What's happening? What can you be present for and enjoy and embrace in this moment when we're actually living it and actually doing it, and not just worrying about getting to the end or getting to the next thing or reaching that next goal? Let your journey unfold, experience the things, be present in the moments when they are happening. The Odyssey is an ancient map of the soul and the spiritual realm as well. We go through so much as souls, the journey up and down to home. It has also, this story is a big kind of connector to what is home, right? Is it a place? Is it a feeling? Is it within us? Is it something we carry? What is it that we really see as home, that we see as that safe and secure place? And I want you to think of that when you're watching the movie as well. Remember that sometimes when we leave and come back, things have changed. The only thing constant is change, which is another thing that he learns when he comes back. Things didn't stay the same. Everything changes. Time passes and things will never stay the same, which is why it's so important that we live in the moments when they are happening. And we can't just claw onto things to stay the same. They are always going to change. We are always going to be growing. And there is always a call for self-awareness and letting go of our ego-driven desires to attain inner peace and a greater divine wisdom, which is a big kind of message with this story as well. Are we taking the time to be self-aware, to see where we are, where we show up in this situation, letting our ego go so we can truly enjoy life and peace? There's a big aspect of ego with this story as well, and where our ego is helping us and where it can be hurting us. So, lots of things to think about with the Odyssey, and as far as our spiritual journey, our journey here on earth, and just being present in those moments and really leaning into the journey. That is my message for you with all of this stuff going on in the world, with the crazy Mercury retrograde we just went through. Go and see the Odyssey and just be reminded of the journey and what we're doing, where we are now. Settle in, have some self-awareness, and just be present. It's that simple. Lots of themes to think about, especially in the spiritual realm with the Odyssey, but that ultimately all comes back to us going inward, spending time with ourselves, asking ourselves those hard questions, and really taking that time to be self-aware and present in those moments when we are in them. Because like we said, things are always changing. We don't know what could happen. We don't know when we will be home or if home will change when we get back there. We just have to be present in the moment that we are in. So that's our big message for today. Be present. Be present and enjoy the moments in life as they are happening. And go see the Odyssey and see what it brings up for you. What does it make you think about? Does it tap into the element of home? Does it tap into the element of the journey for you? Does it tap into the element of ego for you and letting go of ego to achieve inner peace and divine wisdom? Lots of different themes to explore, but there is a huge spiritual undertone to this very old story. And I think there's always something new we can learn from these old stories. So that is our episode for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to where we are finding magic in today's current media and pop culture moments. We will see you next time. And as always, find the magic in your own life.